Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little while. I'm going to turn the music down. I'm pretty excited about D&D tonight. I think it's going to be a good time. I got some thoughts on what's going on. And I think there's a few things that we need to talk about. Namely, like, how do we get... Who do we speak to? What kind of tone do we take with the Queen? When we inevitably get, like, screamed at by her. And then what do we do with our sort of first steps with regards to like counter-attacking, or how do we reveal our hand, basically? Twitch seems to be having a joke moment. First of all, can somebody tell me what's going on with all the drama stuff? So I saw that the gambling streams got banned, which I think is fair enough, and that XQC and Trainwrecks are upset about it. And there's that Alinity chick. I don't really know how she fits into it. And then there's some other girl that people are talking about on Twitter that I kind of lost the train of what was going on. You need to get in Discord to explain. It's really that bad. Okay, well, fine. If it's that bad, I don't care. What's up, Sis Slothman? Good to see you again. I figure that if anything good has come of this disaster quest to slay the Green Dragon, it might just be the element of surprise you have on Scoria. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Gotta ask, since you guys have been playing with Neil for years now, you may have a better idea than I do, but why does Neil hate 18 strength? Is it just a simple fact that whoever has it is so much stronger in combat? It throws the balance scale way off, or do you think it's something else? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, it's just it's not that it's a hit, it's the damage. So if you look at your ability scores here, say you've got a fighter with 14 strength and you've got a fighter with 18-50, the +3 to damage is huge. When you think that your sword does d8, on average it does 4.5, and you're doing +3 on top of that, so you're doing 66% more damage on a hit and a minimum damage of 4. So it's like, it's just so much more damage. Not to mention the extra +2 to hit. Like, when at level 1 you get maybe like +1 to hit maximum from specialization. So if you're getting, like, instead of +1 to hit +2 damage, you're doing +3 to hit +5 damage. Like, that's huge. And it does sort of level off later on as you level up. Like, it becomes less of a percentage buff. But I think at low levels, which, you know, most campaigns tend to be played at low levels, it's just a lot. Can you check the 12 enchanted glacier books from the inverted tower that are not the spell books from the wizard school? I don't know, AO. Can I? I'm not sure, mate. I feel like the moment for that might have passed. I don't think it's on anyone's character sheets. I don't even really remember what it is that you're talking about. I mean, if you can find the clip, maybe I can send it to Neil before the episode and say, did we ever find out what this was? But I don't think I'm going to get an answer if I just mention it in the middle of the show. And I don't really want to break up the narrative that's going to be happening in the start of the episode by mentioning it, you know. I get it. I just feel personally it was really cool with William being an absolute unit, but I fall back on what Greg said at Character Creation Forever, that if damage is what ruins D&D for you, then you're not creative enough. Yeah, sure, but it's Neil's game. If he doesn't want to include it, he doesn't want to include it. I think that's fair enough, right? Who are we to say? I mean, look, Archie doesn't have 18-100 strength or whatever, but the guy's a beast. He already is by far and away the strongest character in combat by a mile. And now Nilrum's strong too, yes, but for the first 3 or 4 levels, like, Archie might as well have been fighting on his own. Did I follow the Twitch drama? A little bit. I mean, I read some Twitter things and I read the Reddit thread on the top of live stream fail yesterday when I was on the plane. All right, let's see. So what happened? We went into the studio plane of air. We did the acid rain thing. We lost the boots of spring and striding, the amulet of recall, the brace of shock and grasp. Okay. Boots of string and striding is a bad thing to lose. The amulet of recall, again, bad thing to lose, but not too bad because I'm wearing the con amulet now. So I can't really easily use the amulet of recall anymore because I can't really take off the con amulet without problems. So not the worst thing in the world. I wish Neil would give us a heads up for this kind of thing before it happens. I would have liked to have put some thought into it and had really good answers for these things. But obviously you're just sort of thinking on the fly a little bit and under quite a bit of pressure to come up with something interesting. So a little bit I would prefer just say, oh, hey, just think about some childhood memories, you know, or something like that. But we did that. That was good. I did see a few of you guys complaining that I wasn't evil enough in these memories, which I think is a bit silly because I don't think it's a switch, you know, it's a gradual thing. Did you find a better name for Imprick? No, I didn't think of a better name. Now that you've lost the recall amulet, is teleport without error higher on the pick list? So that could be good. I did see that map, Mixaki. It's very good. It's very cool. I mean, it's still confusing because it is confusing in of itself, but this is definitely makes it easier to understand. So I think that's good. Okay, then we did the scene with Anton. I'm not sure what he's going to end up doing with Valthara. Imric teleports the brothers back home. They arrive 10 feet higher than intended, but are otherwise unscathed. Okay, uses the crystal ball and scries on the teleportation room in their home. The room appears dusty and filled with cobwebs. Imric is unable to scry outside the home. Concerned that much time has passed in their absence, Tyrell drinks a potion of clairvoyance and scries on the market of Wictron. He sees huddled masses crowded into a tent city in what was once the bustling market. Drekka's flags still fly. Right, let's have a look at the world map here. Now, what I think has happened, despite our initial ideas that the city was under siege, I don't think that... I mean, it could be, because it could be that those tents are the people from the surrounding villages fleeing inside the city walls. But if it's only been 80 days, I find it more likely that maybe Kershwick, Fenden, Gumprun, maybe even Boniferus have been burnt down. I mean, it could be that every city other than Wictron is gone. That would be... That seems like a lot for 80 days. But regardless, I think what's happened is that a large number of citizens have been displaced as cities have been completely destroyed by Scoria. Now there is a refugee crisis within Wictron. So let's just think about what this means, okay? So it means that the majority of the army is probably in Wictron, unless Bontheris still stands and that is being defended. Maybe Sulwick is still being defended. Maybe this peninsula is still being defended. But there's probably more soldiers in Wictron than there would be usually. It means there's probably a food shortage. It's probably been done by Scoria and a handful of elite soldiers rather than by an army pushing into Drekka. I don't think they've got enough men or enough food to be able to push across the plains and through our forest to Wictron. I think even if Bontharis is gone, I don't think Van will be dead. It does mean, I suspect, given that every NPC thought what we were doing was suicide, and I suspect that Scoria knows what we were doing, because she probably has heard the story from somewhere, from a leak or whatever, what we were doing, so she probably thinks we're dead. Which would explain her, like, quick escalation, because if she thought we were just gone and we could come back at any moment, I think she'd have been more cautious. But I think if she thought we were dead, she might have just thought, like, let's destroy everything. So the one thing we've got is the element of surprise. Either she thinks we're gone for a long time, or she thinks we're dead, which means we have to use that moment of surprise as much as possible. Now, that could mean attacking Scoria directly. It also could mean wiping out an army that they've got somewhere, or killing a bunch of generals when they have a meeting or something like that. Like, maybe we can find out that all the generals are meeting at a place to discuss the campaign or something, and we could, like, turn up and slaughter them. Something like that would be worth it. But it might just be that we want to stay hidden until we get to Scoria, but that just might not be possible. So I think the first thing we have to do is use sending to contact someone. Who is the most trustworthy person to contact with sending? Yeah, maybe we sending Shine. We could scry on Shine. I think that's the first thing to do, right? Scry on Shine. Do we want to contact the Queen? Does Forbiddance cancel sending? I don't think so, no. Sending one of Anton's clerics? I don't know. I think that's too far removed. I would think Oxombar is a good target, but we want to avoid, you know, we need to scry first. We don't want to, if it's vocalized, I want to make sure I'm not doing it to anyone who might be overheard by spies. The Elven Ambassador should still be around, but we don't know. We don't know what the elves' situation is with Scoria, right? Like, if they've surrendered or something, then they might give information upon us. I think Tyrell made it clear he wants to grab as much power as possible when the irons are hot. He shouldn't contact the Queen and develop his own sphere of influence. I feel like that's a mistake, though. We need to work together. The Wayfarers, maybe. I don't know. I think that's too far removed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because the Elven Ambassador might still be in Drekis, but that doesn't mean that the elves haven't betrayed us. We need the lay of the land, yeah, so we need someone to fill us in on what's happened. That person is probably Shine. But if Shine's dead, it's Oxombar, I think. Or it's the Queen. But I don't think we'll be able to sending the Queen necessarily. If Shine's dead, are you going for the Dragon's Bane weapons? Maybe. I don't know necessarily how we would find them, but wouldn't be the worst idea, would it? Who might be the person whose actions are most easily traced or controlled? Don't imply that person your first actions. Yeah, so I think that's why I'm thinking Shine or Oxombar are the best. Because our mother could be easily scried or tracked or anything, and she wouldn't know. Whereas Oxombar is likely to be more aware of being scried on or being, like, you know, magically tracked or whatever. She's dead 100%. Who do you think's dead? I don't think Shine will be dead, because I think the reason Victor Renta hasn't been destroyed is probably because Shine and Oxombar are alive. It's a meme question, but what level do you think Oxombar is going to be when you come back? She's going to be like 9th or 14th level. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does she now hop up and down in levels? Yeah, she does seem to move around in levels a lot, Yoken. Yeah, since we need her to be a high level now, she's probably like level 6, I don't know. Yeah, spoilers, Zoktanov, true. Something else to think about is with all the refugees, you have to be careful about the amount of spies and assassins that may be out there now. People might start flipping sides if the war is coming to an end. Yeah, absolutely. No one, I don't think anyone can be trusted. Even the people who we would have thought were really steadfast, like the Queen's guards, for example, even. Like, can we trust them? They probably would have killed the Queen by now if they were betraying us. She has Schrodinger's level drain spellcast on her with permanency. Zainov or Zedanov? Okay, sure. Zainov. I'll try and recall either of those. Complete invis or shapeshifting is a must at the moment until the trap springs. I agree with that, and I am well equipped for that. So I have some good spells for that. Let's see what I've got here. Seeming is the perfect spell for this, I think. Enables the caster to alter the appearance of one person for every 2 levels of experience, so that could be 7 people. Change includes clothing and equipment. Caster can make the recipients appear as any generally man-shaped bipedal creature, each up to 1 foot shorter or taller than its normal height, thin or fat in between. All creatures must resemble the same general type, so human. Each remains a recognizable individual. So it lasts 12 hours. So I can make the 3 of us look like anyone else. I assume this alters clothes as well. So that should be enough to get us towards the keep. The problem is, how do we get into the keep if we don't look like us? So there is that as well. So I think that's why we need to message somebody within the keep to say, like, open up the back entrance, basically. Or, you know, tell the guards that there's a carpenter coming or something like that, and we can disguise ourselves as carpenters. I feel like Imric's new portrait should be of him covered in his self-immolation spell with his imp on his shoulder. That's true, actually. Ayo, maybe we need to add the imp to the token. Maybe instead of his staff, he should be, like, touching his imp on his shoulder, maybe? On this shoulder? I don't know, that would be pretty cool. Do you happen to catch Koibu making a map yesterday? Nope. I only got back into the UK at, like, midnight. When you sending, make sure you identify yourself as something only you would know. They might think it's a trick from Mystery. That's true. Safety cube, that's true. How do I identify us? Yeah, don't spoiler any planning or anything like that, please. Koibu always finds a way to fuck me over. That is true. I don't know why he insists on it. Speaking of the UK, sorry for your loss. Long live the king. True. Thanks, Neff. Long live Prince Charles. People spoiling planning is why we don't get full-on planning streams anymore. Oh, really? Man, that sucks. Use the Glacian floating islands as proof. He's still not removed Neil the Knight from the handouts? I know. Look at him there. What a wonderful guy Neil the Knight was. Shame about his crooked legs. Who drew this down? What is going on with that guy's legs? I'm trying to think, like, in what world are your legs that far apart? It's like, right, he's fighting a giant, and the giant's like charging at him, and he's like done the splits at the last second to go like under the giant's legs and then cut off his dick as he goes over him. That's the kind of crazy shit that Neil would pull. Talk about where the hidden hot spring in the castle is, maybe? You could have the imp inside your immolation as he's immune to fire. Yeah, Nova, you're probably right. If the Mistrains have like a camp with like a bunch of soldiers, I think I can use my immolation spell to completely and utterly devastate that within a matter of minutes. Because I'm basically immune to normal weapons, and anything near me is going to take fatal damage from fire and go up in flames like immediately. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that anything like that, I can just, I don't know. I feel like Imric is an unstoppable force right now, and if I get level 7 spells as well, then it's just game over. Let's be real, okay? Scoria, with the Ion Stone and with Fire Shield, would have a hard time killing me. Now, she could, probably, because I don't think I'd be able to do enough damage before she'd get through Stone Skin and slaughter me. But you saw the Fire Worm. The Breath Weapon isn't going to hurt me. I'm an absolute beast right now. You're not going to live through the fight. You might be right, Yoko, and yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right with Imric dying in the fight against Scoria if that's what has to happen. But I still feel like there's never been a more powerful character in a Neilverse than Imric right now. Aren't you already 14th level? No, I am already 14th level. I don't think that's true, exactly. I think I am 14th level. I think I asked Neil that. He said that it's by the book. So if we look at the imp thing in the book, imp confers some powers upon its master. The master acts as if he were 1 level higher, not casts as if he were 1 level higher. So I think I am 1 level higher. When protection from evil protects you from melee, and immolation protects you from breath. Yeah, I guess it would. But I think hair magic resistance could shatter the protection from evil. It still counts as a level higher, though. I still get the spells that I would get as if I'd leveled up. Can the imp use a wand? Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Maybe I could give the imp a wand, although it's liable to start shooting off fireballs if I give it a wand of fire, isn't it? Like inside the city. So maybe not. Teleport without arrow would make getting the Dragonbane weapons trivial. Would it? Can we scry on the area that we saw in Time Pool? Can't remember that. Teleport without arrow is good for ganks. I mean, it's still subject to forbiddance, though. You only saw them meet on an island. Yeah, I'd have to go back. Okay. Can somebody remember when that scene is? I'd like to look at the wiki or the clip to remember exactly what was happening there. Yeah, I already have level 7 spells. I'm certain I do. I just need to learn them. So it's a question of like, do I take the time to learn them? So obviously it takes time. You know, 72 days. You think Scoria's going to be prepared for the Ion Stones? No, I don't think so. I don't know how she would know unless somebody really high level in our inner circle has... I think if she knows, it'll be because one of the Wayfarers has betrayed us. Is it in here? Cast time pool to learn what happens to the dragon's main weapons. In the time pool, it is shown Shine giving them to a female elf underwater that seems worn by time, and she wants her to destroy them. She says that she knows who she is and that she knows what she has done, that she is the safe haven for these weapons, and the elf kneels and bows fully and asks why she has to do this. Shine says that this is to be her penance for what she has done. Shine leaves. So they're destroyed, right? Do you think Scoria could have figured it out? Because I remember Tyrael saying that he proudly shows the burnt Ion Stone because it looks cool. Yeah, maybe. Not destroyed, sealed. Can't destroy them. Okay. If the imp can polymorph, yeah, which it can. So I think I can have it polymorph into... I still need to find out from Neil what the cool polymorph is, but it should be able to do... What What did I... Somebody reminded me last stream, but can someone tell me again? I don't think I wrote it down. Oh yeah, Raven. Okay, so he can be a Raven, so that's fine. I can have him flying around. In fact, I can have him take a message to Oxomba, right? I mean, I could just do that myself. Is it true that Neil's not planning on giving out loot from Scoria when and if you guys kill her? I don't know about that. Maybe. Elven survivor of the singing of the talents during the breaking of Arcadia. When did we hear that? Did she tell Malachi that? She now lives in an airtight facility that's below sea level. Her exact location is kept secret. Are we... Miktaki, how certain are we that Luna is the person in that scene? Because it's not explicitly said. I mean, it's a good guess, but we could be wrong about that, right? I remember terrible events. I remember my land sinking beneath the waves. I remember fires in the sky, great winds blowing, trees being uprooted, mountains bursting into flame, the screams of the dead and the dying. And Malachi says, do you know why the gods did this? We say it was because of the corruption of the church on the surface. Do you think that's true? Seems unfair to punish you for our crimes. True. Luna looks remorseful. She looks like she's remembering a time long ago, and not really happily remembering it. It's like an opening fresh wounds. There were crimes against the gods from those that worship them indeed, although I doubt any specific organization is responsible. I would not claim a church had done it.
Hello, my lady.
But the heart of that story, arrogance of mankind, my kind.
Ooh, la, la, la.
Thank you, Kento, for the 17 months.
Look who's back. G-Day Nick.
What's up, mate? Good to be back. I would not claim a church had done it, but the heart of that story, arrogance of mankind, my kind, and other kinds, had too much power for too long, run unchecked, and the gods checked it. Was it Malchus again shaking things up, outpulling the world into chaos? All of them together, a joint effort to weed out the ills, start anew. And it's hard to believe that Hardcore Heroes was only 40 episodes long, and we're already into the 40s and Tides of Death. Like, it felt like, am I crazy? It felt like more happened in Hardcore Heroes in 40 episodes than in 40 episodes of Tard, but I'm not sure if I'm just kind of jaded by experience at this point. Matt and I know it's Luna because we asked for Neil a description for Luna for the wiki, and he went off what we said in ToS. Ah, okay. Have I followed the drama? A little bit, not really. I just know that the gambling streams got banned, and that XQC and Trainwrecks are molding about it, and that somehow Destiny's involved, sort of just shitting on them all because they're all idiots, basically. Like, they're all just people who got famous from playing video games and are now in a position trying to argue with someone who's actually intelligent, and they're massively out of their depths. That's my interpretation of what I've seen. That might be slightly unfair, but based on what I've seen of XQC and Trainwrecks in the past, I'm not struck by their intellectual fucking prowess. Let's put it that way. I don't know about Ms. Kiffin, though. I don't know anything about that. The only thing I know about Ms. Kiffin is when Destiny was on that show he did, where he was like testing, they were doing like kids questions, and Destiny didn't know some really obvious shit. Yeah, Destiny is Malchus. Train has a degree in philosophy, no joke. I mean, depends where his degree's from, I guess. I would not say too much on it, to be honest. It's a lot, and you probably don't want to get a stray shot. I think, to be honest, Billy, no, mate. I think drama is good for Twitch growth, so I don't think I've got much to lose, to be honest. And I also don't think that I'm big enough to really warrant anyone being upset with what I'm saying, so I don't really know what OTK is, one boy in all the world. Nor do I really care. I don't really know who Mizkif is either, other than that one stream I just talked about. Sexual assault obviously sounds really bad, though. In before Hassan molding on stream about me for 3 hours, that would be great. That would be good. Nick doesn't know anyone Giga Chat. True, I don't know, mate. I'm 34 years old. Like, I'm 34 years old, and I don't make my income from streaming, so there's not that much. There's not that much. What's the word? I'm not got that much skin in the game, basically. And also, the one thing that I will say is that when I was watching Trainwrecks, when I found out about Trainwrecks' gambling streams, like the slot machines, I was honestly dumbfounded and horrified by them. And I told plenty of people in real life, like, this crazy shit is going on Twitch. And every single normal person that you talked about immediately knows that it's obscene what he was doing. Like the amount of money he was gambling and the fact he was getting paid by these companies to basically just lose a shitload of money on stream to basically advertise it to kids is obscene. It's morally wrong.
You look so beautiful.
Morally wrong.
Hype as hell for Tombs of Scoria today.
Wasn't you getting called out by Destiny in some YouTube video recently? What, really? It's good for your size anyway, as long as your real job doesn't get affected. Well, yeah, hopefully not, man. If you woman, that would be. I can't see what I would have to do to have it to be impacting my actual job.
My lady. You look so beautiful.
True, Black Robe Wizard. Thanks for the 5 months, mate. Valiant, thanks for the 21 months.
Glad to see you are back. Excited to see Imrik wield unfathomable power at the behest of the love of his brothers.
Professional grass toucher. Oh, that's me, mate. Oh, one boy in all the world was called out, right? I see. That's funny. When you leave the Twitch sphere and just say it like a normal person, it does sound really fucked. It is fucked, mate. I know we're getting sidetracked, but the fucking slot machine thing was obscene. There was just no... Like, the idea that it's not encouraging kids to gamble. Like, I'm sorry, really? Why are they paying you $10 million to do it then? Like, there is a reason why they're paying you to do this. And it's because it's making people lose money to their, like, gambling games online. Like, more than $10 million, right? Like, if that's how much they're paying you, they're making more than that in profit. So just think about it. It doesn't take, like, big brain Giga Chad to realize, to understand that maybe I'm already a millionaire. Like, maybe I shouldn't be exploiting my young, impressionable audience who are fascinated by me by basically selling them into a habit that could ruin their lives. I mean, ridiculous, honestly. Well, I think it's a bad argument, Desperado, to be honest, because two wrongs don't make a right, or one. And secondly, sports betting is just not the same as slot machine betting, in my opinion. You can lose a lot more money a lot quicker. People sports bet because they want a bit of stake in the game that they're watching. The slot machines is literally
Secure
just...
month of custody. I'll be sad when these two's planning streams end.
Thank you, Incredulous, for the 3 months. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, it's not a great defense. One, because two wrongs don't make a right. Two, it's just, you know, whataboutism. And three, I don't think sports betting is as bad as slot machines and random, just like that's the most base form of gambling, right? Yeah, no, there's an argument about that, Defkey, but I don't think it's a good argument. Again, like I said, it's whataboutism. And are those Pokemon card streamers getting paid millions by Nintendo? I don't think so, right? Maybe they are. I don't doubt it. Yeah, poker I don't think is as bad. We're not really talking about it, Goose Dude. We're just, people keep asking about it. Apparently it's all anyone cares about. I'm just saying that I think that the gambling shit being banned on Twitch is a really, 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 really overdue good idea. But also, on a whole, I do think a lot of Twitch streamers are like a bit not super intelligent. And I think I did see a comment on it where somebody talked about how, you know, you're surrounded by people agreeing with you. Like everything you say, you have true in capitals letters written in chat 100 times. Like even me, like a tiny stream, I can sort of feel the impact of like the growing of your ego based on the constant positive reinforcements you're getting. I can't imagine how serious that impacts the sort of self-awareness of the really largest streamers like XQC or Trainwrecks or Pokimane or Mizkif or any of these people. Like, whether, I'm not saying Pokimane's the same as them, I just mean like any big streamer, your sort of like internal self-perception is completely fucked by the sort of positive reinforcement you get from chat constantly. Not even chat, it's not just chat, it's the every time you post on Twitter, like every time you may post a YouTube video or whatever it is, it's just like constant positive reinforcement and it just warps your self-perception. Thanks, Baker. Appreciate that. Most streamers start younger and less mature, yes. And I'm also far more intelligent than most streamers, probably, just by the fact that I've got a real job and lived in the world. Like emotional intelligence, but also I would probably intellectual intelligence as well. But I don't need chat to drive my ego. It's already quite high. Thank you. Funny. Exactly. That's it, Ajax. Yeah. If they were graduating top of their class, would they be streamers? You know, did Pokemon Challenges ace his engineering degree? I don't know. You'd have to ask him about it. I have some insider information about that, but I wouldn't like to disclose exactly what I know. Bully him down, Nick. The worst part about being an Anglophobe in France is people think I'm a bongo like you. That's awful, City. But I'm actually a French person living in England, so you know it's different. We don't need to destroy your ego because you talk to Destiny. Yeah, well, I actually quite like. I mean, Destiny reminds me a lot of like myself when I was less mature, and also I'm used to interacting with like really intelligent people, so I'm not. I don't know, like I'm not like intimidated by him like I think maybe a lot of people would be. I'm not saying I've outpaced them intellectually. I'm just saying that I don't think a lot of Twitch streamers are like super intellectual people. But I mean that when I say I used to be like him, I mean I used to be a really cynical, always arguing like devil's advocate with everyone all the time. Just really loved arguing all the time and just super sort of angry at the world and always taking the most negative interpretation of things to try and cause like a rift to have something to argue about. And then I did a shitload of magic mushrooms once and it warped my perception. And now I try and see the best in people and I don't play devil's advocate all the time because I think it can actually be quite harmful. Although, talking about Vosh, I am enjoying the fact that Vosh's stream is dying and his YouTube channel is falling behind Destiny's. Because like I actually, when I got home last night, I turned on YouTube. I clicked on Destiny's stream and he had like 16,000 viewers and he was like watching Hassan and I think that H3 guy talking.
Hello, my lady.
And I was like, watched it for a while. I was like, oh, this is interesting and, you know, relatively good content. Thanks, Mike 998 for 3 months. And then I thought, oh, I wonder what Vosh is doing, how many viewers he's got. And I clicked on Vosh's stream and he had 4,000 viewers and he was like, yeah, people just need to be more generous. Like the amount of guys I've been with who physically destroy the structural the integrity of their throat by sucking dick. And I was like, okay. And I turned it off and I was like, that is... Vosh's stream is in a weird place right now compared to Destiny's. Like, I can't even believe 4,000 people watching this. Never mind. He had 63,000 last night. Crazy. That's awesome. No, not really a Vosh. I don't really watch his stuff anymore. He stopped doing the debates. I just like the debating Nazis thing that Steven used to do, that Vosh did for a while, but he's not even doing that anymore, really. Anyway, listen, you don't have to be a lefty to disagree with this fucking government, okay? You don't have to be a lefty to understand that trickle-down economics doesn't work. Do you watch the Fresh and Fit one? No, I don't know what that is. Was that enough? Sorry. You're super aggressive. What is your personal take on how insane the left has been on Twitter, like Keffels? I'm not following the Keffels stuff. She seems like a toxic person to me. But I think the fact that Destiny got banned for basically pointing out that the trans women in sports debate is a bit more nuanced and does deserve some debate. Like, I don't think that's worth getting banned over. And I think the majority of people in the world would tend to agree with Destiny on that. Like, even if you don't necessarily want to take a side, I don't think that's anywhere near a controversial take. And I don't think it makes you a transphobe to say that. And I personally don't think that Destiny is a transphobe. And I've watched a lot of his stuff about transphobia and speaking with trans people. And I don't for a second think that he's a transphobe. And I think he's quite progressive, actually. And I just think that for this Keffels person to go after him over those comments is just unfair, really, in my opinion. So yeah, I think some of these left-wing people on Twitter are insane. But I think a lot of people who get really wound up by it need to go and touch grass. Like, I was on Reddit with some guy yesterday who was going on about like, oh, how wokeism is out of control. And I was like, what do you even mean? Like, what is wokeism? Like, how is it out of control? And he was like, oh, yeah, well, you know, with like the 14 different genders. It's like, has anyone ever in real life ever? Like, maybe if you're in a college in California and you're 19, maybe you have, but I have never, ever met anyone in real life who isn't identifying as male, female, or non-binary. Like, that is it. And even the non-binary thing, that's like 1 or 2 people that I've sort of tangentially ran into once. You know, it's not an issue in real life. The 14 genders thing is a fucking meme, like signal boosted by the likes of the Daily Mail and Fox News to try and slander basically progressive politics. I'm literally in college in California. I've run into 5 non-binary people. There you go. Yeah, exactly that. The whole thing is complete bullshit, and you are falling into their trap if you get mad about it. Are you ever worried about a stream clip being sent to your boss colleagues? I don't really worry about it, no. I feel like I'm good enough at my job that, like, I think for me to get in trouble, it would require some sort of huge amount of drama associated with it. Like, if it was like people like mass reporting doing it. But I think if someone sent a clip of me out of context, I don't even know what you'd clip because I don't think I've said anything bad. But let's say you took something out of context and it seemed bad. I think I'd be able to show the fuller context and explain myself and say, like, literally none of our clients have seen this or know about it. I don't think it's an issue. There are now. My mate worked with a Zims and we devs have people like that in tech. Okay, well, you know, I mean, but it's not a common problem. The amount of people that are mad about it, how many of these people have ever actually run into anyone who identifies as any one of these, like, really out there gender identities? It's like people, like, it's like the people who are most concerned about immigration in the UK are the ones that live in towns where there's like 1 brown person and like 99.9% white, and they'll talk about how immigrants are ruining the UK. It's like, motherfucker, you live in like the home counties. There's like 5 black people in the whole 10-mile radius of your house. Like, what are you talking about? And then people who live in the cities that do have really ethnically diverse populations are the ones who are most comfortable with ethnically diverse populations, because they know that all the stuff in the paper and all of the fucking fear-mongering is complete bullshit. My face when I'm a pensions manner is some teeny booper sends me a clip of my investment consulting genocide goblins in D&D. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my god, Arxos, you have such you have the worst takes, dude. I'm not going to respond to your xenophobic comments here, okay? Maybe I'll send that to your boss. How's that?